This is your City Council Roundup, a recap of what's happening at City Hall with John Ongaro. The views expressed in this program are solely of those of the host and not necessarily those of the radio station or its partners.
You know, sometimes you get on me for not finding anything positive in City Council meetings. There's sometimes a common theme that I get a little riled up. Something very positive happened last night that I'm going to share at the end. So you see what I'm doing there is I'm teasing the positivity.
I get so it's one of those you want the good news first or the bad news?
There was not really any bad news.
All right.
Last night on the agenda, bugs, bridges, and transit safety.
Okay.
First, the emerald ash borer is a bug that eats ash trees.
Yes.
The biology teacher on council, Counselor Folds, got to call you out for the question of the night. So does the ash borer eat other trees? No, just ash trees. Anyway, the city is doing great work at removing the emerald ash borer infected trees. Yep. There's a great map, by the way. If you go onto the city's website and look at the agenda from last night, there's a map of where all these infected trees are and where is the next place that they're going to be injected with the fancy chemical to get rid of said ash borer. It is a problem, and it is a terrible thing, and it's killing some beautiful trees. So they're doing a good job of fixing it. It's an expensive proposition, but they carry on.
Okay.
Simple.
Check
you're getting a new pedestrian bridge. That's all. It was passed last night. There, a new one from Pete's Backhoe is going to be doing the work. I don't know where it is.
Where?
I looked. I still don't even know.
Wait a minute. So just for a bridge, not a pedestrian bridge. Crossover.
No, a pedestrian bridge that's getting updated. So somebody can text me where it is. I don't know.
They didn't discuss that?
No, it was just a slam dunk. Yeah,
okay, done. Okay.
All right. Next. Transit safety is a very important thing. This is something that has been coming up at council for a number of years now. The transit operators need some help. At the same time, we have to make sure that our passengers and pedestrians are also secure. So Councillor Andrew Folds last night put together a recommendation that administration provide an update on transit operator safety initiatives. That administration report was approved, and they have to report back on or before March 10th, 2025. So a year. A lot of work to do to make sure that our operators and our staff are safe. Next on the agenda. I'm not going in order, by the way. It does not that it matters. The Fisherman's Wharf dock.
That's been in the headlines.
Now, this is a place that I have spent a great deal of time. It's an excellent place to grab yourself some smelts. Anybody got smelts yet? That commercial dock has been there forever. And that commercial dock hosts commercial fishermen, fisher people, fishers, as they're called. Those 4 commercial vessels park there throughout the year. And as you've seen them out on the lake, they do all kinds of fishing. They drop their nets, which makes some, for some interesting times for us salmon fishermen, because don't hit the nets, kids, because bad things happen.
Look out.
Anyway, these people have been there for years. The area is owned by the city of Thunder Bay, but the Department of Fisheries and Oceans have leased it from the city of Thunder Bay for years and years and years. How much did they lease it for? $1 a year. Now the DFO says, hey, we don't want it anymore. Do you want it? You guys, anybody here want it? We're going to give you $800,000 to fix it all up. Well, there's not much to fix there. These concrete docks have been there forever. It's in pretty good shape. Sure, the parking lot could use a grading and a little bit of asphalt, but other than that, it's okay. Hey, City of Thunder Bay, do you want it? Here's the deal. You can keep it for 5 years, no cost to you, as long as you leave everything as it is for the next 5 years. That means we'll give you $800,000 to do the updates. For the next 5 years, you can't do anything with the commercial fishing boats that are there. And after that, the city can do whatever they want with it.
Interesting.
Pretty nice chunk of land. Mm-hmm. Then they got into it a little bit. Now, finding out that the revenue from those 4 commercial boat operators is a pretty sweet deal. The revenue on that dock is only $5,000 a year. If you do the math, that's $1,250 per boat. Mm-hmm. That's half of what I pay to put my boat at the marina. Can I go park over there? Because it's half the price. It's a pretty nice area and a pretty sweet deal for those commercial fishing boats. Now, it led to an interesting discussion of what happens after 5 years, and then what if the thing falls apart? Well, the good news is the work is going to make it last for 25 to 30 years. This is no longer a big deal for the city. Operations can handle it. Marina Services can handle the administration of it all. It's a pretty sweet deal. That led to some liability questions. What happens with that? Went into a closed session. They left the room for a few minutes, came back and said, yep, we'll take it. Carried. We now will own the commercial docks at Fisherman's Wharf.
I wonder why they want to get rid of it, like take it out of their hands.
The government?
Yeah.
Because it's all part of the divestiture of lands that they don't need.
Okay.
And obviously the Canadian government revenues at $5,000 a year,
is it really worth
not
it
really
for
going to
them?
make that
Got
big
it.
of a deal. But this is a nice little area to go with Lorne Allard Park that's there. They can fix it all up and do some great stuff down there. It is a really great, underutilized, if you ask me, area. A lot of people use that dock to put their kayaks in and those kinds of things. There is a beautiful boat launch there, but it is a small little chunk that is now part of the city.
Okay.
All right, next, the Integrity Commissioner report that came out a couple of weeks ago. This was the complaint towards Councillor Rajni Agarwal that the councillors all rallied behind her and said, nah, we don't need to remove her from any boards. Let's just get some training. Well, last night, the report came back to council about training and de-escalation training for not just Councillor Agarwal, but for the entire team. That was the decision of council a couple of weeks ago, that we'll take the training for everybody, not just them. Or not just her. Interesting conversation, though, and an interesting point by Councillor Bentz. De-escalation training is something that we can all use here. In other words, he sees the tension in the room just like everybody else does, and maybe this is a great way, quote, for us to work together as a group. What a great activity! What a great idea! How about some team building activities? Says Councillor Bentz. Like one of those ones where you sit in a circle cross-legged and you throw the beanbag around at each other.
Yeah, you take the afternoon off, you team build with
team
the group.
Building. Yeah. Oh, to be a fly on that wall. Councillor Hamilton with the idea of the night. Team building activities, de-escalation training. Hey, why don't we invite the public to this? Oh, God bless you, Councillor Hamilton. What a great idea. It'll never happen.
No.
Absolutely not. This is stuff where in the safe space of these kinds of training opportunities and these kinds of team building opportunities, it's a great place for councillors to talk to each other and to work out some of their issues. If you think there aren't any issues in that room, you are mistaken. There are. And this is a great way to fix it. When the training is going to happen, we don't know, but that was approved last night. Slam dunk, carried.
Okay. Yeah, I'm kind of thinking like a team building. If you're having an office team building, you're not going to bring members of the public into it. So just
we
keep
have
it with
office
council.
team building here all the time.
It's all the time.
We get a sandwich and we all sit around, put our feet up.
Yeah.
And then usually everybody goes home early. The meeting was over, by the way, at 8:29. Something did happen, though, last night, and I will say this. I am fortunate to have a couple of, I'm doing air quotes.
Air quotes, yeah.
A couple of sources in council chambers
Okay.
that I communicate with. Could be my friends, could be whatever.
Sure.
And so last night, again, there at the beginning of the meeting, I got a little frustrated. And as you know, as somebody who has had his fair share of struggles with technology, you have, and when you have trouble with technology, who do you call?
You?
Yeah. And so then I come and fix it. But these things happen all the time. It's just, but for the last number of weeks, many meetings, there has been something going on in that room with the technology and things not working right. And it was all working so perfectly. And this is the frustrating part. And I'm sure the clerk's office is pulling their hair out over this because sometimes it just doesn't work. But yet it's the same every week. So how can it not? Anyway, it's been a bit of a mess on the technology front. Last night, I sent a text going, hey, just so you guys know, your mouth is not matching the video.
No, that is very frustrating.
It's incredibly distracting, and it's very difficult to watch. So then I logged in online because I watch it on the big TV.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, it's kind of nice to watch it because you get folds like in crystal clear high definition. It's wonderful. Anyway, so it wasn't matching. So I said, hey, just a heads up. And I just logged in online. It's a little better, but it's still there. And also, it's white now. It used to be dark. Teams has a dark setting. And then the response was, well, it's been updated, so it's white now. No, that's not the case. There is a dark mode in Teams. Just fix it. Anyway, So I was frustrated by that, and I made the comment, you know what I'd like to do? I'd like to go back to the old days when Councillor Rebecca Johnson was in black and white and everybody else was in color. Remember those days? Because then it worked, but then COVID came. Now,
and the Zoom stuff happened.
You're reminded that the city spent a pile of money on cameras and microphones and everything in that room. They did an enormous amount of work.
Is that supposed to be in HD?
Just a sec.
Okay.
You're not. You see, you're jumping ahead, Danny. You're taking the drama away.
Oh.
So that all was built just before COVID.
Yeah.
Then COVID came. Nobody's in the room. Now we're on Teams. So for the last 4 years, we've been watching a Teams video on television. Well, last night, the feed died at some point. But then somebody pushed a magical switch, Danny.
Did something change?
Something changed. And I celebrated. And I sent text to everybody I know. Tune in right now. Because right now, for the first time, council meeting was in glorious high definition.
Wow. Okay, well, that's actually very nice.
Did it look fantastic.
Excellent.
The clarity, the audio, the matching of the mouth to the video, to the audio, incredible.
What happened?
It was perfect. And so I sent a text, whatever you just did, don't do it. Like, don't touch anything. So for the first time, we got to see the glorious high definition from council chambers last night. It really was an incredible difference. Because usually we're watching a Teams video.
Yeah.
Well, then the controversy begins because, as Councillor Oliver pointed out last night, which should have got a round of applause from everybody watching, it was the first time in a long time that all 13 councillors were in the room together, along with all administrators. It was everybody on deck. It was fantastic. Everybody was there. Yes, some people are sick. Some people are away. Sometimes it happens. And there were only two people from administration that weren't there. So the big challenge was, can we hear them from home? Well, there's the clerk. Administration, we have to test this. We're having some issues. And I said, no, we're not having issues. It looks fabulous. We just need you to test your microphone. And there they were, Danny.
Yeah.
The microphones from home worked. We continued with the high definition feed without Microsoft Teams.
It makes me want to tune in next week.
You know what? It was like Christmas morning. I've waited 4 years for this high definition feed. So, council, clerk's office, whatever happened last night, ignore the fact that there's something broken, because there's nothing broken. It looked fantastic. The camera operating was fantastic. But the clarity, Danny.
Top notch.
Top notch.
So, I'm a big fan of celebrating those little things in life.
That's a big thing.
This is a big win right here.
It's a big win. Huge. 4
Very
years
nice.
I've been waiting for that.
I like it.
Because I was the one making fun of the fact that half the room was in black and white for a number of years.
Yeah.
But it's all fixed. So whatever you did last night, if somebody has to join the meeting from home, let them join from home. We don't need to see their faces. If you need their faces for votes, tell them to say yes or no on the vote. Can we please have high def again next week?
Yeah.
It was fabulous.
That's all I was missing is a big bag of movie theater popcorn.
You know what? I'm just waiting for the surround sound feed. Hey, I want to hear the heckling in the back speakers.
Now you're asking too much.
Yeah, a little bit. So listen, there wasn't an awful lot of drama, but I guarantee you that the city's podcast is not going to talk about the high definition video from last night.
Well,
and that's your roundup, Danny.
Wow, that was an interesting one today. Thanks, John. There you have it. Another reminder, this will be up on our website, 999thebay.ca. And as well, you can simply text the word council to our T-Bay Tel Talk and text line, 807-344-8229, in just a bit. And that will give you a direct link to the recap of the City Council Roundup.
See you next week.
Thanks, John.